Let's have a look at moving objects. So now that you've selected an object, you will want to put it into a different spot, for example. So I'll just quickly get rid of all of my cabinets here to give you a better example of how that could work. There we go. So let's say we want to put a sink cabinet all the way to the edge of the wall here. What we would do, we would left click on the sink from the library and we would hover the mouse over the ground. So of course we're not placing our cabinet on the wall, so wherever you want to place the object you kind of need to hover over that, and you would just left click once to place it. Now you have a bunch of different ways to move your object, so I'm just going to quickly move my view to get it even a little bit closer of where I want to place it. There we go. And now I can decide what I want to do with the cabinet. So first of all, you have the Gizmo, which allows you to quickly move objects, and then you have the dimension move tool to precisely type in the exact dimension of where you want to place the object. I'll just quickly start with the Gizmo here. You see this little cube here, which allows you to drag your object freely in every direction. So to move the object, you just left click on the Gizmo cube and you hold down your mouse and you drag the object wherever you want to place it. So as a quick reminder, if I drag my mouse outside of the floor, you will see it doesn't move, but as soon as I hover my mouse over the floor again, it understands, okay, I will need to place my cabinet over on this floor here, and that's how you can place objects on the ground and move it freely. If you want to move a cabinet or any object from the ground floor to a loft floor, what you would do, you would just left click on the free move cube again here, and then you would hover over the loft and it automatically understands, okay, I need to be up here now, and now I can move it back down again as well. So that's how that works. So that's how the Gizmo free move cube works. You can also move an object on a specific axis. So rather than just moving it everywhere, you can say I would like to move it only this way. So you would just left click on this arrow and drag while holding down your mouse, and it will just follow this path here. And you can do the same thing the other way, of course, like that. If you want to rotate an object, you would just left click on these arrows here. If you just left click once like that, it will rotate it by 90 degrees, and you left click to go the other way again. So there's no way to drag these arrows, but it's clicking these instead. So now that's how the Gizmo works. Now let's have a look at placing objects accurately with the dimension move tool. So I'll just quickly rotate my sink first to get it into the right rotation, and now we want to actually make sure that there's no gap between this sink cabinet and my wall anymore. So I'll just quickly select it one more time. There we go. So if the dimensions pop away sometimes, you can actually just disable or deselect the cabinet or any object, so to speak, and then just select it again and you will see them pop up. So you will see this 8-inch gap here, or if you would be using the millimeter or centimeter system, you would see these, of course, pop up in that system. And to make sure that there's no gap in between, we would just click on this field and we would type in 0. And it will understand, okay, there shouldn't be a gap in between anymore, and now it moves it accurately to that position. And the same thing works with adding a specific spacing between objects. So at the moment it's showing me that we have a 2'6" gap between my sink cabinet and my oven cabinet. But let's say we want to make this 2'9". We can actually go in here and type in 2, and then we have a space and we type in 9, and then we press enter. And now it will move it over to 2'9".